everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am MJ and this is Financial Pathway Mortgage Services, formerly known as MJ's Place. My name is MJ. I am a mortgage loan originator with Desert Financial Credit Union, as well as the financier for Better Life Empowerment Movement. And I am here today to discuss inflation and the impact that it has had on the housing market. So, just to keep it short and sweet, we are going to jump in just a moment. First and foremost, I want to welcome everyone back who has previously subscribed. I want to thank everyone who has recently subscribed, and I want to encourage you to hit the subscribe button, notification bell, share this video with others who want to understand the impact, again, that inflation is having and how they can be successful in their home ownership journey. So, a lot going on. All right. What is inflation in the first place? Inflation essentially means that the cost of living goes up. That's the simplest definition that I can give you, is that the cost of living is a lot higher. All right. You see it with food, you see it with gas. Right now, they're saying that inflation is up at around 8.5%. Realistically, it's probably around 10% when you calculate all of the other variables, such as, again, housing costs, food, things of that nature. In addition to the fact that stocks and a lot of other asset classes are depreciating, so that has an impact as well. Just recently, there was a meeting to discuss the administration's plan, and they're basically told the feds to figure it out. So how do we navigate through that, right? And what is that impact that it's having, again, on mortgages, on the housing market? Number one, the most obvious, is housing prices have gone up exponentially. Just here in the Phoenix market, when I moved here, a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home go for about $175, $250 if it's really nice. That home right now is $375,000, $400,000 out of the door, and that's asking price. That's not when you actually go to prepare an offer to the seller. Most sellers are still expecting about 3 to 5%, which we'll talk about in just a moment, how their expectations are being managed, again, by the current situation in the housing market. Interest rates right now for a 30-year fixed or refinance, you're looking at 5.659%, and then you're looking at 5.015%. Now that's, the latter number is for a 15-year and the former number is for a 30-year. Okay, on home equity lines right now at my credit union, we're doing 2.99% for the first year, but after the first year, you're looking at 4.875. When I started, it was 3.025 or something like that, and I've only been with the credit union for about a year and a half. So that's incredible. The biggest change has been really since March. It was like boom, as far as the rates are concerned. Even to do like a fixed rate on your home equity line, like if you segment it and do a fixed rate option, you're looking at like 6.25% if you carry it out over 30-year terms. So the numbers are getting real beefy. So you really want to make sure that, again, you're getting the best rate possible. But that definitely is one of the impacts. Another impact is the cost of living, right? If you normally budget food for $200 and gas for $100 and so on and so forth, you've doubled, tripled, quadrupled in some cases your cost, and your income has remained the same. So that's another huge impact it's had on the probability of owning a home and maintaining home ownership. Now, I don't believe, and I was speaking to a colleague about this, that we're going to have a housing crash per se, but I do believe that the market will be shaken up and we're going to see a lot of changes take place. One thing that you want to keep in mind during recessions or semi-recessions or whatever the case may be is that there is always going to be a transfer of wealth, all right? The best way to hedge against recession is being wise with your money and saving as much as you can. Anyone who knows me in real life knows I love a good meal. I love to go out just like everybody else, but realistically speaking, I was looking to buy a smoothie the other day and it was $13. I went in my kitchen and made a smoothie. So I'm like, I'm not paying $13 for a smoothie. But it just goes to show how expensive everything, has become in real life. And when businesses have to, listen, when the rental space for the coffee shop that you like goes up, they have to pay people more money. That raises, the cost of the product, right? The owner's mortgage is more expensive. The money has to come from somewhere, and it's usually from the consumers, okay? So that's another impact too. It's just on your buying power when it comes to owning a home. You do have tools that will help you. You can do what's called a rate buy down, where you pay a certain percentage more. But again, that goes into making sure that you are saving and that you have a robust amount coming to the table with. I think that you may be able to start to see things like seller concessions come back, where a seller basically helps you offset the costs. You have down payment assistance, but we ran out of money. So, down payment assistance isn't really something that's realistic right now. It's sort of like it was a game of musical chairs during 2020, 2021, and either you have a seat right now or you don't, okay? So if you don't have a seat but you still want to be able to get in the game, again, rate buy downs are a great tool. But let's talk more about, again, the impact that it has if you already are in your home. You have a lot of people who got great deals on their mortgage. They're in at a 2.8% interest rate. They don't want to refinance at 5.015% at all. But if you take a step back and you look at the big picture, and you think if you have the equity in your home, the real equity, meaning that you went through the proper channels, you didn't waive appraisal, you don't have anything funky going on where you waive the home inspection, and so you have expensive things that you need to take care of in your home, and you have the real equity in your property, borrowing $100,000 at 5% still is very reasonable if you think about it. A lot of them compare the rates now to what they used to be back in the 70s at like 15%. God willing, we won't go there again. But at the same time, we're already halfway there, more or less at 6%. So, you want to make sure that you manage your expectations. When you're speaking to someone like myself, your LO, you want to ask probing questions and make sure that they're putting together the best package for you, not just to, make your offer letter appealing to the seller, but actually get you into your home and maintain your home, right? Another thing to consider too when you're buying a home right now during these inflationary times is, realistically speaking, how long are you going to be in your home? Okay, is that your forever home? Are you going to be there? Are you going to see your kids grow up? Or are you sort of kind of on to the next thing within the next 10 years? That's going to be the difference between if you're going to take advantage of an ARM or if you're going to do a fixed rate mortgage. So you want to keep all of these things in mind. I'm talking quickly because my fur baby is losing patience, and he's going to start getting riled up soon. So I want to get this out. And while sunlight is still on my side. But yes, the biggest thing is buying power. Okay. The nice thing is when I remember watching something where Warren Buffett said that during times of inflation, you could technically, your house kind of pays itself off because you're kind of paying. It's how did he explain it? It was more or less like, because the dollar is depreciating, when you are paying on it, you're like paying more on it than what you would if the dollar was a bit stronger. I could be misspeaking out of turn. I have to find that and link it to you guys so that way you can watch it yourselves. But my point is that there are some pros during inflation times. A lot of it is a lot of people are not looking for a home right now. If you're a person who has a substantial savings and you really want to buy a home, you can definitely still get a home right now. If you are a borrower who has a credit score below a 650 and you have very little saved, meaning you only have about 2 to 3% saved, I would really encourage you to improve that score and wait, okay? Because if you do not improve that score and you do not wait, then you can potentially be paying a lot more than most people for the same amount of money for that home. For that home. So you want to make sure that at the end of the day, you really examine your finances. So that's really one of the biggest impacts that inflation has had on the housing market, is the affordability aspect. It's really pushing a lot of first-time buyers out of the market. We are going to be rolling out a first-time home buyer program in the coming months, and I'll definitely share that with you guys, so that way those who are interested can take advantage of it if you're looking to be in the Phoenix market. The Phoenix market is still smoking hot. Homes are still super expensive. If you go to an open house, you might still end up, running into a line. So you want to make sure that you're prepared. Remember, cash is king. I know some people say cash is trash. Cash is king. When it comes to housing, real estate, cash is king, okay? If you're a cash buyer, you have a leg up on a lot of people, because you don't even have to go through the financing process. You can literally just go and say, hey, I want this home. Give it to me, okay? I personally encourage cash buyers to take out a loan anyway, because it's about leveraging. It's about using other people's money to help build your wealth. Okay, if you're borrowing an X amount of money at 5-6%, it's still cheaper. It's still cheaper than a lot of the other options that you could look at for home ownership to this day, right? And again, if you have a substantial amount of money, you can buy down the rate, get you about 0.5% off, depending on how much the lender will allow you to buy it down with, and be able to take advantage of that as well. But again, just wanted to come share that information with you. Don't be afraid during this time. If you want to own a home, be encouraged. You can still buy a home right now. But what it's going to mean is, when you're coming in during this time, you're going to really have to do your due diligence to research and ensure that you are getting the best deal possible. Make sure that you are as educated as possible. Take advantage of any and all resources. I love the CFPB's website. That's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's website. They have a wealth of knowledge, and I'll link them to below in the description. They have so much knowledge for consumers to educate themselves on how to be a savvy borrower. You and I, we're going to go through the difference between fixed rate mortgages and ARMs. We're going to talk about what your APR consists of. We're going to go through closing costs. There are a lot of programs that are saying you don't have to put any money down, like USDAs and VAs. Guys, there is nothing for free. You still have to have money in your pocket. So we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna discuss, what the functionality of those loans and how much money do you need to bring. Okay. I love you all so much. I am so thankful again to be able to share with you and come before you. If you have any questions, I'll have my contact information in the description box. Excuse me. I only originate in the Phoenix area, but I will be in the future transitioning to other states to originate as well. When I say Phoenix, I mean Arizona as a whole, not just Phoenix. So Tucson, Flagstaff, all over, but just in Arizona. We are looking to expand to several different states. So again, we'll keep in touch and have that exciting news together. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so much again for your support. Thank you so much for all of the well wishes and those who have kept me encouraged during my time of transition. I wanted to come back to you a little bit sooner, but I'm here now, and I feel very blessed to be on the other side of that journey. Another thing too that we'll talk about is the NMLS. I'll go through how exactly to study for, how to prepare for it if you are interested in becoming a loan officer as well. It's a very rewarding career, and I'm just getting started on it. There's really nothing like helping people meet their financial goals. It's just such a blessing. So with that being said, again, what are some of the impacts, just to recap? Because food, gas, and other living expenses are more expensive, okay, it makes it more difficult for you to maintain your mortgage. Remember, a lot of mortgage companies do have forbearance. They also have a loan modification and a lot of other things to assist you in staying in your home. No one wants another housing crash like 2008. They don't. I know a lot of people who are looking to buy are hoping for it, but on my side, we don't want that. We really, really, really don't. So we're going to do everything we can to keep you in your home and make sure that when you get ready to buy a home that you're educated. All right. Well, that wraps up this week's video. I will be back next week with more content where we are going to dig deeper into how to navigate through these murky waters. Love you to the bank and back. I will see you soon.